Credit Sonny Dykes from bringing the Cal program from 1 win in his first season to 5 to 8 last season, plus a bowl victory. Or maybe also give a little credit to that quarterback who was pulling the trigger and taking a beating, especially early in his career, Mr. Jared Goff, who we will hear very early, name announced in the NFL draft. We bring in Jack Follman from Pacific Takes to help us sort out what's left with Goff leaving for the NFL. And Jack, it's quite the race here. So we'll get set up with the 2 main contenders and help us fill in the story behind Chase Forrest, who threw 18 passes last season, and Ross Bowers, who comes in as a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, neither of these guys are a Jared Goff, who, kind of comes in with a pedigree who everyone expects to, be the next great quarterback. They're both solid recruits, but, they got a lot to prove. Forrest was Goff's backup last year, saw a little bit of cleanup time, looked okay. Accurate guy who kind of in that Bear Raid system has a leg up in the job because he can spread the ball around, make all the throws, and just be accurate and move the ball around and not make too many mistakes. And as we know, in the Bear Raid system, you kind of want to make it work for you and not try to overplay it. So that looks good for him. Bowers is the other guy that's going in there. He's a redshirt freshman, so he redshirted last year. He's got a little bit more mobility than Forrest, which might help him, though that's not a huge thing in the Bear Raid. But might be that if they get into a tight race, maybe that's the thing that puts them over the top, especially if Cal doesn't have a great offensive line. But those are the 2 guys that are kind of the favorites right now going into spring.
So we've got Bowers, who was rated the 13th pocket passer, according to ESPN in 2015. A little bit more experience from Forrest, throwing the 18 passes and the touchdown last year, as the 32nd rated pocket passer the season before, coming out of high school. Now we've got a couple interesting stories in Zach Klein, who's been around the program, and Luke Rubenzer, who has been on both sides of the football in the last couple of years.
Yeah, Klein's super interesting. He was kind of supposed to be Jared Goff before Jared Goff was Jared Goff. He was an Elite 11 quarterback, a big-armed local kid, I think, out of somewhere up in Northern California, who was supposed to be their next great quarterback, but he got beat out by Goff, transferred out. I think he went to a couple different schools. Now he's back for 1 more year. So if Bowers and Forrest don't assert themselves, maybe Klein's the guy for 1 year, to kind of hold court. Rubenzer was actually Goff's backup in 2014 and was inserted as kind of a change of pace guy who could run the ball. But they took his athleticism over to the other side of the ball last year at safety, where they needed help. He had a good year and a lot of playing time, and it looked like he might stay over there. But people are kind of watching out to see if if no one steps up in the battle, maybe you put Rubenzer back at quarterback and see what he can do. And I wouldn't be shocked if they at least put him over there to see if, is this the best quarterback we have?
So we've got a number of guys with sorted paths, not in a negative way, but interesting paths to the quarterback battle this spring at Cal-Berkley. Max Gilliam, also worth noting, probably not in the mix as a true freshman, but certainly has a bright future if he can assert himself as the 28th rated dual threat quarterback coming out of this past recruiting class. We'll let you handicap this one as we get a little bit closer, Jack, because this is pretty wide open, like we talked about in Eugene, Oregon, with the Ducks as well. So Jack Follman from Pacific Takes, helping us sort out the Cal spring quarterback battle that should extend into the summer as well. Thanks a lot, Jack.
All right, thanks, Mark.